Oh my goodness. Episode 8 of Friends for Good, Zach. Somehow we've made it. And our theme this week is healthy habits to get off your phone and get outside or do whatever you love doing that's not stuck on screens. But before we get to that, I think we'd be remiss not to talk about the Boston Marathon, right? Because, a lot about running and exercising is being present and working as hard as you can for a goal of some kind. And obviously, the goal of finishing the Boston Marathon is a huge deal. You can't be on your phone for probably 3+ hours. So I think that'd be a good place to start. And I'd love to get your thoughts on just what you think about the race and maybe some of the things you saw on social media about it from over the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. I was just on the phone with my dad a couple days ago, and he was in Boston during the time, just on a work thing. And the entire city, like it's not just the Boston Marathon, but it's just Patriots Day in general, is such a really cool thing. The Red Sox always play on Patriots Day at home. The Boston Marathon's going on. They had the Celtics playing at the same time. It was sort of like the whole city, just no matter what else is going on, is coming together for Patriots Day. And I heard a sportscaster say last night when I was watching the playoffs, but really just talking about how it has the feel of a small town parade, even though it's in Boston. Like
Yeah.
it's intimate, it's really cool. And speaking just about the Boston Marathon, I mean, to qualify and compete in that is a feat in itself. But some of the things I saw were just ridiculous. I mean, I think one guy ran a 4:30 pace the entire time
Yeah,
and
I,
finished in
I
two
I
hours.
saw that too. Insane.
Insane. And I don't know. It's things like that that just they motivate me because some guy can devote his life to 4:30 pace. I can. There's things in my life I can do a little bit better. So, uh,
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Also, it's just like what human beings are capable of is so cool. And you bring up such a good point with how that race really brings a city together. You could not have said it any better. And Zach, actually, I wanted to share this. My one of my fraternity brothers ran in the Boston Marathon this year. Ran like
really,
I think he ran in under 4 hours. I think he did in like 3.5. So shout out Mason Lutz. He was in the pledge class below me.
that's
Um,
incredible.
so cool, right? And just kind of obviously this was kind of like our we always do our stories every week. This was kind of like our headline event or news event or what have you. But Zach, I saw this video on Instagram and I had to like figure out who these people were, what this was. So these two guys, Aaron Breggs and Robson D. Oliveri. Robson, I apologize if I mispronounced your last name, but they saw someone collapse about a fifth of a mile away from the finish line. So at the 26-mile mark, they're like so close to being done. Ajay Haridasse, again, sorry if I mispronounced that name, AJ, collapsed at the 26-mile mark. They decided to stop, pick him up, and walk him to the finish line. He obviously was not going to finish the race. AJ even said it himself. He couldn't even stand anymore. Robson was actually going to finish his fastest marathon if he didn't stop, but said, nope, I'm going to help this guy because it's the right thing to do.
I mean, that's you think about what it takes to, like I said, qualify for the Boston Marathon, and so you train your whole life for that opportunity.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, human compassion, it just trumps all. And you see someone that needs help and they got so close. Like it's remarkable that they were willing to forego their time
Yeah.
and whatever just to make sure that someone else crossed the finish line. Because I mean, anyone could have gotten him help, but it wasn't about getting him help. It was like you made it this far, you're getting to the end,
Yeah.
which is so yeah, I mean that's such a wonderful thing.
And we'll play the video for you guys because obviously, for those that are listening on Spotify versus YouTube, we'll play the video of them actually helping this guy cross the finish line because it was really cool. And you'll notice that a lot of people passed AJ before these two guys stopped to pick him up. So I don't know, just like cool stuff and shows that we are greater than the sum of our parts. And it's not just about a time sometimes, it's about helping bring people along, which actually feeds into one of my quotes, which I'll share later. But I think that's good enough on the Boston Marathon. Actually, my next story kind of bleeds into that too. But Zach will give you the floor for your story.
Sure. And just real quick before we go into my story, I just have to while we're on the subject of marathons, just have to give a quick shout out. Maybe I talked about it last week, I don't remember, but um, no, I couldn't have because he ran it on Saturday. But CJ Jeffrey, one of my best friends from college, He lost our college fantasy football league, and the punishment was run a marathon. He signed up for the Rhode Island Marathon. He was never really a runner. Apparently the most he was doing like to train up was like 8 miles. He finished a marathon. It took him, I think, 5 hours or something, but he did it. And I just love that because yeah, it's a fantasy football punishment, but at the end of the day, it's like that's a lifelong achievement. Like he's a marathon runner now.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Follow through with it.
and
Hey, Joey couldn't eat 5 hot wings and your boy ran a marathon, you know?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's you know, and there was no one really enforcing him to do it. Like I'm the commissioner, and like yeah, we were like going to tell him like yeah, you're not in the league next year if you don't do it, but he did it, and that's pretty awesome. So I want to
That's
give him.
pretty cool.
But now into my story. So this is one that kind of tugged at my heart a little bit, just because it's something I relate to. It's about a guy named Troy Reardon. And so he's a man who once struggled with addiction, and now he helps hundreds of kids avoid it.
Oh wow.
Um, so his early life, it was surrounded by addiction. His teenage years, he was already caught up in gambling and drug use, and it escalated into something a lot more serious than that. Um, and he felt like it was almost impossible to break the cycle alone. But everything changed because a local surf community stepped in and they supported him, stayed consistent, and they helped him get into rehab. And over time, Troy actually rebuilt his life. He became a father, he built a career, and he created stability. And now his career is he runs a mentoring program for at-risk youth, helping kids avoid the same path that he went down. Um, and I think what's really powerful about it, it's not just the comeback that he went through, but it's the ripple effect, right? Like because he was able to overcome this and it was such a struggle for him, he now is helping kids do the exact same thing. Um,
Can I add something to that really quick?
yeah, absolutely.
You might not remember this quote from last week, but I just pulled it up because I think it actually exemplifies that story in a nutshell. The quote was, "There is no exercise better for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up."
It, nail on the head. It's
Yeah.
because I'm sure it's so rewarding for him just to see the work he's doing, just so that people don't have to go through what he went through, right? Like he's helping them. And 2 summers ago, I was on an internship in Israel, and the company I worked for called Hagal Shali actually runs. It's a program that it's a surf camp for at-risk youth. So
Yeah.
literally, it's in a way rehabilitation, but also just mentoring kids. And what happens is they go through the program and then they become the surf instructors. And so
Yeah.
it's kind of like a, formative years, your whole life, if you stick with the program, great thing. Um, and I just think addiction is it's such a thing that needs to be addressed. Like I found it in college, like for me at least, like there's a lot of the saying like I'm not an addict, it's just college, right? Like it's just this, but real quickly it can change before you know it, into being not just college, into something that's a real problem. And so every time I see a story like this, I'm just reminded that there's people doing the good work, there's people that are
Yeah.
out there to help, and there's so many outlets for people to get help. So I love this story. Shout out Troy Reardon, and thank you for helping people that need help, because sometimes it's really hard to seek help. So when you're out there pushing for it, I think it's really great.
Yeah, and shout out Troy because he so easily could have hid that part of his life. I mean, nobody probably wants to openly admit that they were an addict to whatever they were addicted to, but to bring other people along and use your experience as something that you can use as I don't even know how to I want to explain this, like just an example of, hey, this is what I did. I don't care how far gone you are, like you can always get to the other side.
And I love that point because it's also such a good example of how fascinations change. Like at one point he was hooked on these things that it seemed like a cycle he couldn't get out of, and now that very thing he was fighting against is now the thing or the very thing that he was struggling with is now the thing he's fighting against.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a full metamorphosis, and
It's never too late.
never too late. Really,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
And I think we can go to the next story if you're, unless you got any more
Absolutely.
thoughts there. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I'm pulling a page out of Zach's book because usually he brings the research to the conversation. But a study conducted by a university in Spain, it's got a long name that I would definitely mispronounce, so I'm not even going to try. But they found that increased cardiovascular health is a direct link to the lower risk of depression, dementia, anxiety, and psychosis. And even better, Zach, just a modest improvement in cardiovascular health is detrimental in middle-aged adults. Like the results were even more astounding. Like it's not like you have to make these big changes to see these improvements in your life. No, it's like very small incremental changes in our, you know, in our parents' age, for example.
It's something that our friend John always preached a ton too, is that he's someone that needs to run because running and just getting active, it affects your brain so much. I mean, I'm sure you can attest to it. You feel instantly better.
Yeah.
And so the research backing it up is fantastic, but it's also like you feel that way after one workout, like
Yeah.
instantly changed. And I think the hardest part for most people, at least for me, is just getting there. Like today, like, it was leg day at the gym and you know, don't want
Nobody
to do
likes
that.
leg day. Yeah,
Nobody
no.
wants to do that, but I went, I did it, and now I'm on top of the world because I feel like the man because I did, the thing I hate doing most, especially at the gym. So now I feel better. And I think also it's just important to get out, get active,
Yeah.
really for your mental health, if not your physical health.
It's mind,
So I'm
body,
glad.
spirit, man. You got to train all three. You got to take care of all three. They all work together, honestly.
Yeah, it really does.
Um, I think that's good for stories. So we'll do our rapid fire this time with Zach. Zach, I hope you're ready for this. I've got some good
I think,
questions.
should we do the discussion first
I'm
or
sorry.
no?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's do discussion first on the theme. So the theme is, just healthy habits to get off your phone because I think, you know, although we're making videos to, have people be on their phone or listening or on YouTube or whatever, I think being on your phone, at least in my experience, I don't know, it makes me late to stuff. I don't feel that good when I go to bed and I pick up my phone and 45 minutes later I'm still on it. Like, definitely is a link to just not good feelings. And I hate when feel like I'm doom scrolling for a while. And Zach, if you would go first, I would just love to hear some of like maybe the things you do to try and stay off your phone, like on
Yeah,
the day to
and
day.
real quick, just to add on what you said, like in this day and age, it's not possible to not be on your phone. Like
Right.
especially at our age, it has to happen. We're all going to be on our phone, and TikTok, Instagram, they're great, they're hilarious. Like it's just important to always be aware that it's not real and
Yeah.
to set time aside to focus on what is real is really just the main thing. So one of the first tips I found is based on a book, Atomic Habits, a really famous book. Um, but one thing is that friction kills bad habits. And so the easiest way to use your phone less, it's not like discipline. It's your phone is designed to be effortless, right? So of course you're going to check it whenever it's near you. And so if something's easy, you'll do it automatically.
Yeah.
But if you add friction, your behavior just changes without willpower. So like a simple move is putting your phone in another room, like or just leaving your phone at home when you go to do something. Like if you go on a run, try and do it without music or go on a walk, like without your phone. Um, and I think to add to this, this is something that I mentioned this in another episode. I've been going to the nearby shul to learn with Joey. We've been
Yeah.
going through the um, and he was talking about Shabbat to me. And in the Orthodox Jewish community on Shabbat, none of them use lights. They don't open doors. Certainly no electronics. And he was explaining that the simple absence of your phone and these electronics for a day, he was saying there's actually research behind it, but it actually just resets. It rewires your whole brain, even just not using it for a single day.
Man.
Um,
Man.
so I think definitely putting it in another room. And real quick, something that I'm buying it after this episode. I keep putting it off. We'll maybe have a clip of it or add a link, but it's called a brick, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's literally just a device where as you're leaving your home, you tap the brick, and it's better than screen time because when you leave, you tap the brick, it locks out of the apps that you're most hooked to until you get back home. So yes, you can be on your phone, but at the very least, maybe you won't be doom scrolling, or if like there's a game you can't stop playing, like for me, it's Settlers of Catan. Like that way I can just
So
log
fair.
out of that, not do that.
Yeah.
So that's my first tip is I would say just absence, just put it somewhere else.
You know, Zach, just yesterday I was meal prepping my meals for the week, and I was thinking about something you said in an episode. I think we were talking about being present was just like even like mundane tasks, like not going on your phone and just really focusing on what you're doing. Like you kind of get in this almost like Zen mode of just like, you know, one getting what you're like getting what you're doing done faster, but also you just like feel good about it. Like I remember it took me like 20 minutes to get it done, and I realized I was like, wow, I haven't checked my phone in like a long time, and my meal prep is done. Like
Yeah,
kind of like double-edged sword. And then I like that you bring up just leaving the phone in the other room because I think it's like out of sight, out of mind, right? My one of my college roommates, Sean Dempsey, was like, "How do you guys not go on your phone at night?" And I always said that I try to plug in my phone away from my bed where I can't touch it. Like I
yeah,
have to physically get out of bed if I want to check my phone.
yeah. That's such a great thing too, and I'm sure it helps in the morning. Like when his alarm goes off, he has to get out of bed to shut off his alarm. He can't just press
No
snooze.
doubt.
Like, yes.
100%.
That's a great tip. Just leaving your phone just away from your bed. I love that. And just going back to the mundane task thing, like it's also about being present and loving your reality, like we talked about it last time. But
Yeah.
the more you do that without your phone, the more comfortable you'll be without your phone.
Yeah.
It's it reminds me of what your sister said, or like what your sister said to you when I was kind of tweaking about, my brain and my memory, because I was like, that was an issue I've been struggling with and just some health anxiety. She said, your brain is a muscle. Like if you don't work it out, yeah, it's going to get weaker. And I think the same thing applies to our phones. Like your brain will get stronger and you will get more accustomed to using it as soon as you take that for, or not using it, your phone, that is, as soon as you take that first step.
Yeah. And I liked what you said earlier about how like it's tough to just completely like cut it off altogether because, just the way that our world works, we kind of have to be on our phones. But like your friend Joey, like even just not having it for like a day, I'm sure he actually felt so good that whole day. And the next day he probably was like, yeah, I didn't really like even think about it. Like I
Yeah.
didn't think that he probably didn't even really miss it.
I mean, it's also just the fact that without your phone, you're so much present with the people you're with, like so much more
Yeah.
present. I mean, the quality time that he gets to spend with his family every Shabbat, he describes a Shabbat meal to me like he has to earn that every week. Like he puts in the time every week. He works, he does the things he's supposed to do, and then that Shabbat meal without your phone and with the people you love most is just the most rewarding therapeutic thing in the world, and it's something I hope to experience, and just kind of just to get in that state of a family dinner with the roommates where I just don't have my phone and I'm not distracted.
That
So
was
that's
one
how,
thing I really missed about. I got rid of my Apple Watch a couple years ago. I think I sold it to one of our friends, and I was just like, man, I kind of missed that because I liked what you said earlier about like even when you work out or go on a walk or a run, like not having your phone and just being completely locked into what you're doing and your surroundings, like makes a whole difference. Like I actually would be curious to know how many people run with their phones during the Boston Marathon.
right. I mean, I honestly think like I don't think I'd be able to do that. Like if I
Oh,
was
me?
running
No,
I
never.
was like I need a distraction. And that kind of brings me to the next thing is like controlling your distractions, because that's what your phone is at the end of the day. It is a distraction, and they're not random. Like the stuff on your phone's not random. It's designed to grab you. So even doing something like do not disturb and meaning it, like every time my phone's on do not disturb, I actually forget about checking my phone for a long time because I'm not getting that buzz.
You know what's
Uh,
worse? I actually tend to check my phone more when it's on Do Not Disturb because I feel like I might be missing stuff.
that's true too. I feel both
But
sides.
it, it but it goes both ways. You're absolutely right.
I think for me, when I'm at work and I'm on Do Not Disturb, it's better. But when I'm in general just Do Not Disturb, I find myself checking it more. Um,
Yeah.
but it really depends. It's kind of what works for everyone. Like another tip is like even about just designing your environment. Like you shape your own environment and your own habits, but when you don't, choose to scroll and you're relying on when you're only relying on self-control, you're bound to fail. Like I found that in so many things that I've tried to quit, like in various things that I might be addicted to.
Yep.
But it's about like maybe finding replacements. Like, for example, like recently, my roommate and I, we just stopped smoking, which was something that was really tough for me. It's something that I've like struggled with since I was a teen. And, we're a couple weeks in now, and my replacement has just been the gym or walks and all that. And it's not only are those healthier outlets, but they really do give my brain the same dopamine. And with your phone, it's the same thing. Like you replace your phone, like instead of texting, you can write down your thoughts. You got to grab a notebook, a journal, and even a book.
I was gonna
So
add, like, it's also just so easier to do some of this stuff together. Like, I've always thought that, living with a roommate right now, if I want to not be on my phone, like, I'll just go talk to my roommate. Or,
yes,
I'll ask him to go do something, like go play golf or go walk, And I love what you said. The self-control thing is so interesting because when that's your only outlet for why you're doing something, you're so right in that it is a little bit more difficult to like stay in on it because you have
it's
really nobody but yourself holding you accountable.
exactly. You're almost bound to fail, but when you either quit or do something with someone else at the same time, it's so much more helpful in succeeding. But then you just change your environment to suit what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
So if
right on.
it's trying to read more, you join a book club or you grab one person and you read the same book, and that way you're like, hey, did you read the chapters this week? Like I did. Like, come on, you're slipping. You're
Let's
slipping.
go,
Like
bro. Let's go.
really about that. And I brought this up before, but just having people that will hold you accountable is it really is everything. So just really finding someone that you can quit with. And that brings me to my next proposition. Like, let's pick a day, me and you, where like we designate 4 to 6 hours, like a 4 to 6 hour no phone time, if you're
I like
down.
that.
A day that
Okay.
works for you. I think we should, we got to practice what we preach. And I think we should make that a point because ever since I re-downloaded Instagram to start posting our stuff, I started doom scrolling again and I hate it.
Oh,
Even
sorry,
even though
bro.
my feed is awesome, it's hilarious, but I can't.
Pros and cons. Ugh.
I
I
know.
get it. Okay. Since I kind of jumped the gun last time, now we should do rapid fire.
Sure.
Okay. Um, Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. First question. What do you think about on your way to work and on your way home from work?
On the way to work, I'm just listening to dubstep. I'm kind of just blasting dubstep and coming up with imaginary scenarios in my head. On the way home from work, usually just thinking about kind of the next thing, like getting dinner or going to the gym, whichever I'm going to do first, or if I have to clean my room.
Who is your biggest inspiration?
My family, just as a whole,
How would you describe your parents?
motivating,
How would they describe you?
uh, empathetic.
That's a good one. What could you not live without?
My friends.
Greatest advice you've ever received?
Jeez. I've said it a million times, beating a dead horse, but love reality from my Outward Bound trip.
Your best advice for anyone listening?
Don't get caught up too much in what's ahead that you miss what's going on now.
Nice. What were you feeling the day you graduated from college?
Just bittersweet. Um, really, I kind of envisioned what was ahead, and I didn't love it at first because I loved college, but bittersweet.
Bittersweet. What makes you happy?
My friends and my family.
How do you feel when you see the sun?
Inspired.
What gives you hope?
My sister.
Favorite thing to do on an off day
Play basketball or rave.
or rave?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite basketball moment?
This was going to be my one of the week.
Oh no, no, we can't give it away then. Why go into more in
All right,
depth
but
why your biggest inspiration is your family?
Say this like, different favorite basketball moment. Um, Cavaliers 2016
Fair.
coming back. Um, what was the question? Sorry.
Why are your parents your biggest inspiration? Just more in depth.
It's my parents. It's my whole family. I think about my dad. His career path to provide for us is not a conventional one. You know, we were moving around a bunch when we were younger, and it was all about just making sure that we were in the best situation possible. You know, he grew up humbly. He There were times he struggled just with money and stuff, and he never wanted that to be the case for us. And seeing how hard he worked to provide for us is just so endlessly motivating for me. My mom, she, you know, never took a day off of her job, which was being my mom, but also started her own company that is, getting more and more busy now, just given where AI is at. And she's someone that inspires me every day because of how hard she works just to be the best mom in the world. And then my two siblings, I love them both to death. My brother, I feel like I learned so much from him just growing up and just how to be a good person, but also someone that he's just someone that I look up to in kind of an inexplicable way. Like what he does, I want to follow suit because I know he has the right head on his shoulders. And, you know, conversely, my sister, my younger sister, I mean, she's the most well-rounded person in the family. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know how she turned out as amazing as she did. No thanks to me, but um, she's someone that I just can't wait to see what she's going to do in life because I know it's going to be fulfilling is the right word.
And your advice was don't get caught up in what's ahead and try to just lock in on like what's happening right now. When did you get that advice? And how do you think it's benefited your life?
I kind of got that advice. I've gotten it progressively somewhere or another throughout my life, but I think became most prevalent to me post grad when I moved to New York and got my job. I think everyone our age, 23, fresh out of college, is, at least for me, I'll only speak for myself. I'm so caught up in what am I going to do later in my career? How much money am I going to make? I'm not where I want to be right now. And then you just have to remember, like, I am 23. I'm not expected to be some crazy success right now. And when you stop thinking so far ahead and you start just remembering how great things are now, everything just starts to fall into place. And I think that's advice that I've started to take, more seriously now. And I've gotten a lot better at it, just enjoying my present.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That was a great rapid fire. I just wanted to
Thank
ask you a couple follow-ups because I wanted to like get a little more explanation as to why you gave those answers. Let's get to our quotes. You want to kick us off with
Absolutely.
our first one, Z?
Sure. So this is from Tiny Buddha website. Um,
Hell yeah.
the more I became digitally connected, ironically, I began to feel more and more personally disconnected from my surroundings. Um, and I just like this quote because it was very it was just very keen on the idea of staying present, right? Like when you're on your phone, you become numb to what's around you. But staying off of it has the complete opposite effect, and you are so aware of what's going on around you, and that's a blessing.
I also think about when I'm not on my phone, I'm like, man, like I could be missing something that's happening in our group chat, or I could miss a text from someone. And then I kind of realize like I can just go back and check it later, you know? But like I only get a finite amount of times that I get to see the sun go up and down or enjoy the weather outside or do whatever. So I really like that quote, and that one like really hit home with me. And for those listening and not watching on YouTube, I literally like did the like like mind blown basically.
Mind blown.
That was a really good quote. I'll do mine now. Um, and I actually came up with this one.
Oh, I love that.
I said this is my quote. Life is only available in this exact moment. Zach's doing
That
snaps
deserves,
right now. Yeah.
that deserves some snaps. I It's just the truth. I mean, that the past is not real anymore, and the future certainly isn't real. All that we have is right now. And so,
It's a gift, and that's why we call it the present.
absolutely, Master Uruguay. Uh,
Facts. But
but
like
I'm,
I
go
just
ahead.
it's back to what you said earlier about like, doom scrolling, like none of that is real, And chances are it's probably not stuff that's just happening. And if it is, it's probably not good. It's really stuff that's already happened. And yeah, I don't know. I really like that quote because experiencing life, you only get it moment by moment, and it really is just what's happening right now. So
Yeah, you're a smart fella. That was a good quote.
I try my best.
All right. So now for my second quote. This is sort of kind of in line with what you said, but enjoy the little things because one day you may look back and realize they were the big things. That's a quote from Robert Brault. Um, I love that quote because it's just a great reminder. Like, I think about the things I remember from college, and they weren't always like so many of my best memories weren't these crazy big parties or big events. A lot of them were just hanging out in my room with my friends or just a random night when we were in the backyard having a good time. And I think it's because I enjoyed those little things then that now I'm realizing how important they were into shaping me and to shaping the friendships I have. So um, it's always important just to appreciate the little wins. And I think that's why we do our wins of the week because it's a good thing.
100% Zach. And it goes back to I think the saying like one day you'll look back and realize these were the good old days, you
Mhm.
know? And I also just love how I feel like every time we pick these themes, it always kind of draws back to just being present, right?
It's really the biggest thing. When you're present, everything else falls into place. And I like what you said about the good old days. It's like the quote from The Office that Andy said. It's like, I wish you knew when you were in the good old days before they've already happened. And the way to know that is to be present. When you're present, you understand how great your situation is. And not only that, that your situation now, a year from now, it won't be the same. It
Yeah.
won't. Something will be different, and you have to appreciate everything about the now.
Makes me kind of sad hearing that, honestly, because I kind of feel like my circumstances will change a lot in my life, just like the way that the TV career kind of happens. And even like my roommate, like he's, moving on here shortly and become one of my like really, really good friends. And just to think that one day like he just won't be there is just kind of weird.
Yeah.
And, you know, yeah. Ugh, sorry, that made me a little sad.
Change is scary, but change is good, and it's necessary.
Okay, so this is the quote from the day by day, which by the way, happy Earth Day. Today's Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day. Yeah.
So this was like the Earth Day quote in my day by day that you have one too. We are on Earth to take care of life. We are on Earth to take care of each other.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Just needed like a moment of silence for that one. Just like,
Our play there's been discussion for eons about the meaning of life and what's our purpose and all of that. I think that sums it up perfectly, and that is we're here to take care of each other and we're here to take care of our home. And we can't ever forget that.
isn't that the best ever? Like you think about like, oh, like my apartment's my home. It's like, but in like the grand scale of the universe, the Earth is our home. And that's why it's
And
like so important to protect it and keep her happy and healthy and, you know, do all the right stuff. Cause, I remember I think Reed Wiseman, the commander of the Artemis launch, said when they made the turn around the moon and looked at Earth, they were like, "This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen."
I just I hope we never forget that. Since starting this podcast, I found a ton of uplifting things about good things happening to the environment, and the way that we're all helping the earth. That progress can't stop. It needs to be highlighted. Money needs to go towards it. It's important. And I believe, a story I didn't bring up, but there's a chimpanzee population. I forgot what country, but they're no longer an endangered species and
Huge.
huge. And it's the little things they cause a ripple. And happy Earth Day, because Earth it trumps all countries and citizens of nationality, whatever. We're all just citizens of the Earth, at the end of the day. So,
We are all just citizens of the Earth. Bang, banger, Zach. That
preach.
was great, dude. I think with that, let's get to our sound heroes. I think you can go first.
Sure. My silent hero, I have two this week. Well, it's my sister, but I already talked about my sister, so I'm going to highlight two other people. But Scarlett, I love you. You're my hero always. Um, but to get specific, I might have mentioned him before on this podcast, but Marcus McClanahan, he's about to graduate the University of Miami. He was a year below me in my pledge class, from the U, and I'm just shouting him out because my first story was on addiction, and there was a point where it was at the end of my junior year, and I was just in a really bad place, just struggling with a lot of that kind of stuff. And he called me as soon as that semester ended, and he said basically like, "You're not the guy I know. Like, you're not the guy I met and became friends with." And
Yeah.
just that story today reminded me of that, because to have a friend that would do that for me and just give it to me straight and not enable me to keep going down this path that I was on, um, it's something that I'll never forget for the rest of my life, because it changed my life.
I remember that was a story that you brought up in our last episode too about being an addition and not a necessity.
Yeah,
And like he very much saw you as an addition to his life, and he obviously is a huge addition to yours, and he didn't want to lose you. And I'm sure you're very grateful that he's still in your life.
yeah. Um, so didn't want to beat a dead horse there by mentioning again, but I was just reminded of again, and in a way, that's the best advice I ever received, was just stop being a bum, be the guy I know you are. Like, so yeah.
Stop being a bum.
So congrats on graduating, Marcus. I'm really proud of you. Proud of the man you are and the person you've helped me become. So thanks.
Moment of silence for Marcus. That was awesome. Congratulations, kid. My silent hero is someone that you know. It's my twin sister. It's Morgan Fowler. Just really good time with her last weekend, and just a constant reminder of just how hard she works and the person that she is. And yeah, man, she does a lot of good. And I have no doubt that in 15, 20 years, I'll be calling her left and right with whatever bumps and bruises I've got on me, and wondering if I'm going to die tomorrow, because she's going to be a great doctor and I'm going to just be bugging her like crazy. But she literally took me through like the next 6 months of like her job, moving, like med school applications, just like all this stuff that she's got on her plate, and she's like ready to tackle it, and she's way more organized than I am. And just shout at her because I know she's got a lot going on. Um, but she's rising to the occasion, and for that reason, she's my silent hero.
And when you think about it, like, she's working this hard for the next X amount of years so that she can save lives. I mean,
Yeah,
she's already a hero, and she'll continue to be a hero for, the rest of her life. So
big time contributor to our society.
yes, absolutely.
Way more than a lot of us.
Yeah,
You want me to go my win of the week first? Or you want to go yours?
go for it.
Because I know we kind of hinted at yours earlier, but my win of the week was I played golf on Wednesday. That was my
Nice.
win. You know what? Hit the ball pretty good on the front nine. Did not hit it well on the back nine, but I take it as this, right? I am trying to work at it. I'm trying to get better. It is an investment. And, like anything, you're not going to learn it day one. It's my second time playing this year in like fine conditions. And I'm committed to getting better. And that's my win because, like you said, we are celebrating the small victories.
And I have to bring up this bar that Victor texted in the group chat today, but um, when the goal is the experience, you always win. It doesn't matter how you shoot. That was just a crazy bar.
Dude, what was he drinking when he said that?
He's cooking.
Dude, yeah, he was.
Um, but yeah, I mean, you went out to experience something good. Doesn't matter how you shoot. You had fun, and I'm happy for you. That's absolutely a win.
Appreciate you, dog. Thank you.
My wins this week are two things. They were also athletic. Um, First, on Monday, I dropped my career high in our men's league basketball. I had 20 points and we got the dub.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna flex. I was the game's leading scorer and I hit four threes, made all my layups. Um, Many of them were assisted by my one of my best friends, Victor Schwartz. Absolute dimer on the court, gremlin, hustler. So shout out, thanks for getting me open. Thanks for trusting me with the rock. And then secondly, this past Saturday, our team captain Declan, he put me in the fifth hitter spot, which was to start the season. I was in the ninth hitter spot, and he texted me before the game and he said, um, I believe with the right confidence you can be great. So go be great. And I hit an RBI triple in that game.
RBI
Um,
triple.
RBI triple, and I had two hits in that game, but that was the big one. And um, he posted me on our team's Instagram with an AI generated picture of me that had like holding an offensive MVP, which made my
That's so
it just made
awesome.
my week. He's a great captain, Declan. Thanks for instilling the confidence in me. Um,
See, that's when it's worth it to go on your phone so you see the AI generated offensive MVP of Zach.
Absolutely, I reposted it on the Friends for Good Instagram because W
Oh,
me,
because no doubt.
W
Why wouldn't
me.
you? Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm gonna get mines. So
I'm gonna get mines is wild.
because I am though. Like
No, like,
I'm gonna
listen,
get
you
my buckets.
absolutely should.
Like if I'm gonna get flowers, everyone's gonna see that I got flowers. Like, what I'm saying?
Anywho, dude, I can I just say I loved this episode. I just thought this
Yeah,
was great. Like, I like the conversation that we had about staying off your phones or at least being present and enjoying what's around you. And I thought a lot of this just tied into a lot of the stuff we've already talked about. I love the Boston Marathon. I feel like that was great. Highlighted all the right people. Just really good episode all around.
I thought so too. I thought this was one of our best, if not our best. So if you're out there listening, thank you so much for tuning in. You've listened to the peak of us so far, I think. But it's only going to get better. We're going to be introducing some guests in the coming weeks. Um, so stay tuned. And we're always looking for ways to spice up the show. If you have any ideas, feel free to DM us on Instagram and our Spotify. And we're coming to Apple Music soon. I'm working on that this
Ho
week.
ho, new development.
Development. I'm going to have all of our past recorded episodes on there. So stay tuned on that.
Hey, I think that'll pretty much put a bow on things. We'll see you next time.